gather to celebrate graduates who will look over the way that they have come and ahead to where they have not yet walked. Excited, scared, ready. We gather to thank God for the parents and family members, teachers and administrators, religious leaders and church members who coached, challenged, encouraged, and risked their passion and hope our graduates would not only turn the tassel, but believe in themselves as gifted, lovable people who are contributors in the world that needs them.
Blessed be the Lord.
Tradition and vision mean so much to us. God, love, justice, faith, hope, kindness, the 10 Commandments, and the Great Commandments. With you, we have continued to learn the ways of peace and life. May the holy and divine love of the world be a halfway for them as they commence their journey. All together, we will have the litany of celebration for our graduates by Nia Painter and Anthony Stallworth. Oh, we'll have the processional.
And our first soloist is a member of this church here, her family. Her name is Nala Johnson. Raise your hand. She's going to spiritualize Betty Carter's version of a tune entitled Tight. You know, one of them tall guys. Good wind. Nala Johnson, y'all. Betty Carter's tight. The young lady of the band. She's only in 10th grade. She's a sophomore. How about that? I think there's 3 generations of Nala here too. I know her mother's here, and I think her grandmother's here. Grandma, I'm right there. That's right. Miss Shirley Sullivan. Mom, Miss Desi Seck in the front. Nala Johnson, y'all. All right, so we're going to move on. I want to talk a little bit about who's in the band as far as singing. And please forgive me. Can we have one round of applause for our Honorable Mayor, Dana Red? Thank you so much. She's in the house. King Shaw on trombone. South Carolina State University, y'all. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Good morning, church. Giving honor to the Spirit of God and certainly to recognize the pastor of this great fellowship, Reverend Dr. Britt Stargell and the Kaighn Avenue Baptist Church, to the preacher of the hour, Dr. Richardson. We want to thank him for being here today. Let's give them all a round of applause. And certainly to the class of 2013, we here in the city of Camden salute our students and soon-to-be graduates who will be walking and receiving their high school diploma. Let's give them all a round of applause for their unique accomplishments. As I sit and participate in the service this morning, and every time I have the opportunity to come to Kaighn Avenue Baptist Church, I want you to know how filled I am and how grateful I am to your pastor and to the members here for being the education church, for lifting up our young people and taking this opportunity to dedicate your service as a baccalaureate for our young students here in the city of Camden. And if I could be so bold for our students that are here, I would proclaim that if President Barack Obama were in Camden today, knowing that he visited Kaighn Avenue Baptist Church in 2006, the only church he visited, he would probably claim Kaighn Avenue Baptist Church as his church here in the city of Camden in the state of New Jersey. We know that education is so critical and key to achieving success, not only here in Camden or the state of New Jersey, but certainly in America. And a quote that I would share with our young people today, as you have studied Black history and you may have a civil rights hero that is near and dear to your heart, there is one that comes to mind this morning in a quote from Malcolm X, who said, "Education is your passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today." And we want you to not stop preparing after you get your high school diploma, and please do not stop preparing after you go and you attend a HBCU, because we're so proud of the students that have been accepted in colleges and that will be heading on and representing the city of Camden. But we want you to continue to be lifelong learners. Every waking moment, there's always something that you can learn in this world. And we want you to be avid readers. And one book I would suggest to you that is a favorite of mine, and I've been reading it and probably will read it again. It's by a theologian, James Kaighn. And the book that I'm reading contrasts Dr. Martin Luther King with Malcolm X and their two approaches to the civil rights struggle. And I think as you read that book and make that a part of your private library, you will see that the struggle continues, not just for equality, but certainly social justice, and that we must continue to impress upon you and many others the importance of education for those civil rights leaders that fought to make sure that we had equal access and that we would be afforded an education that would prepare us for our future. And the name of that book is Martin and Malcolm in America, A Dream or a Nightmare, You Decide. Everyone, God bless you, and God bless the class of 2013.
Now we will have greetings from Ribbon Mills. Here. Now we'll have selections by Sierra Irizarry. Good morning, Chase.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come?
All right. Listen.
And why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend He'll keep. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches. I sing because I'm happy. I said I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches. 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 I know He watches me. But I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. But His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches. I know He watches. I know. He watches. I know He watches. I know He watches me. He watches me. He watches me. He watches me.
Now we will have spoken word by Darnell Butler and Fatima Wharton.
morning. Good morning. Can I get one more round of applause for that, please? I will be reciting an original poem entitled What Society Said. Hesitation to turn against the fate. Opportunity to speak out against my race. Society telling me I will never make it. Dreams of becoming an actor. So maybe I just see this as a bad scene. Smile and take it. Farcical dreams of success inside my head. And what far-fetched dreams they are. At least that's what society said. Because of the color of my skin, I cannot win. Because of the generation I'm in, I'm just a thin, part of this thick order of life. And because of this horrific present, the future is what I've come to dread. At least that's what society said. But what I say is that the society we live in is as ever-changing as the weather for the children of my generation. For it once stood that we were forever supposed to be tied and shackled. And yet before then we were kings and queens with pyramids risen above the Nile, high above the Nile in our honor. Speaking the language of our fathers, not our captors. So I stand up. I look society in the face and say, I don't listen to you. You listen to me. And I listen only to God. Thank you.
My generation, an original piece of work. In my generation, we have some situations. We don't have a lot of money, but that's no reason for lack of education. We talk more than we listen, a little too much communication, and we do not have the best living conditions, but we have grown folks living in their parents' basements. Blameful of the past for not getting to the right destination. In my generation, there's not enough motivation. My generation needs some straightening up. Live life to the fullest. It is okay to have fun. Work hard and be a success. Make something of yourself. Life is too short to live in anger. It is too short to live in stress. Life is too short to live in lies. The day you were born is when you started to die. But in my generation, young people put themselves in situations where they'll leave this world quicker than what they came. My generation needs to listen. As the arthritis in our elders' fingers point crookedly to a straight path, being mindful of their path, the consequences of their dues put me in the shoes I stand in today, in the grays of their hairs where the wisdom lies. Listen as they speak education into your core. Don't be oblivious to the facts. The verbal reminisce has a bitter taste. Being beaten and abused, more like polluted and overused, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. In my generation, there is destruction. There is hurt in my generation. There are securities, addiction, poverty, depression, hate, pain, fault, sorrow, minds that are distraught, contentious spirits, shattered hearts, jealous eyes, faiths undefined. There's a crookedness in my generation. My generation is in an everyday battle, but will we win with Satan who stands in our shadow? In my generation, people live to impress others where the heels are higher than their standards, higher than their confidence. Young men trying to fit a particular image, where the sneakers cost just as much as their education and the diamonds they wear glisten brighter than their future. Stop giving birth to babies and give birth to your dreams. Don't dance like video vixens, but dance like David danced. Young men, stop sagging your pants. Young men, stop sagging your pants. But sag the foolishness. Have swag by pulling up your pants with confidence, which has no exposure to your rear. When will my generation wake up? It is time for hardworking men and full-time women. The right seeds are there, and it is ready to take root. But my generation is sprouting the wrong trees and bearing strange fruit.
a selection by Takria Hawkins.
Let's give our young people another hand. Fatima shared her spoken word with me a month ago, and I said, wow. And it inspired our theme for today, passing the torch generation to generation. Just a word about Takria Hawkins. She is a product of Kaighn Avenue Baptist Church. She's a product of Creative Arts High School. She is a graduate of Camden County Community College. She is our Associate Director of Dance here for choreography, is an instructor and a choreographer. Give her some love.
superintendent's voice, Dr. Ron Johnson, Superintendent of Lawnside Public Schools.
Good morning, church. How's everyone doing? First of all, I'd like to give an honor to God, who is first ahead of my household and ahead of my life. I certainly would like to thank Dr. Stargill and the Baccalaureate Committee for sponsoring this event, an opportunity to recognize and acknowledge students for their academic accomplishments. I'd like to thank Mayor Red for her presence today. Certainly would like to say, Cameron, you're doing a wonderful job moderating. Certainly, public speaking is very difficult. I have a lot of trouble with it myself. I hate speaking in front of public, but it's a function of my job, so I have to do it. To all of the young people that performed before me, phenomenal job, phenomenal job. Can we get a round of applause for young folks? I additionally like to take the opportunity to thank one of my mentors, Dr. Will Maddox, for the invitation to say a few words to hopefully inspire some of these young folks in attendance as they move into the next phases of their lives. I won't be before you long, however, would like to briefly discuss a few topics. The topic of perception versus reality, I think we heard someone speak about that earlier. Utilizing your resources to assist you in reaching your goals, and the term humility. As was mentioned in my introduction, I'm currently the superintendent of the Lawnside School District. And while that's a great accomplishment, today I'm most proud to say that I'm from the city of Camden. I graduated from Forest Hill Elementary School right up the road. There we go. All right, that's it. Then I went on to attend St. Joe's Parochial School in East Camden before graduating from Camden Catholic High School. Early on in my educational career, I was very fortunate to have, and I have to name these young ladies, Ms. Vaughn Hammond for first grade, Ms. Annetta Braxton for second grade, Ms. Seidel for third grade, Ms. Rosen for fourth grade, and Ms. Pennick for fifth grade. I mention these ladies because they set the foundation that I carry with me today. They never let me or any of my classmates make excuses not to do well in school because we were from Camden. If anything, they challenged us to work twice as hard. We respected not to be just as good as other students from surrounding South Jersey communities, but to be better than our peers. They made us understand that people's perceptions about us as students from Camden or Camden as a community did not have to be our reality. I always have and always will continue to be proud to represent Camden. It sometimes discourages me to read and hear about stories regarding my hometown, but I get encouraged when I attend events such as today, when I have an opportunity to see positive young people that I know will one day make a difference, not just in this city, but in the world.
Yes. Yes.
You young folks here today present a story about Camden that many people don't want to have told. Don't ever let anyone define you based on their perceptions. I remember as a freshman at Morgan State, yes, I went to Morgan State as well, Bill Cosby came to give a benefit concert. And he said, never let anyone tell you that because you attend a historically black college or university, you're getting an inferior education. He said that an A at Morgan is an A at Harvard. And everybody looked at Bill Cosby like, what is Bill Cosby on? He's crazy, But his point was, the A is an indicator of your commitment to your education. So if you did what it took to get an A at Morgan, you would do what it took to get an A at Harvard. And so what we find is that good students are good students no matter what school they go to. And as we see, we have a lot of great students here in the city of Camden. Camden prepared me for my next step in my journey as I matriculated to Morgan State in Baltimore, Maryland. Moving to a new city to attend college can sometimes be overwhelming, and many of you will be leaving us and going on to other places. But my time here in the city helped me grow and helped me transition successfully to living in Baltimore City. I lived in several parts of Camden, and when you move from section to section, you have to meet new friends and learn the kind of lay of the land. North Camden's a little different than East Camden, and Fairview's different than South Camden, so, you have to know where you're at and who's who and what's what. And so when you go to Baltimore, whatever city you're going to for college, again, use your skills that you learned to survive to see if Camden survive in whatever city or town you'll be in attending college. Your ability to effectively socialize and communicate will be essential in your success in college or in the workplace if you choose to go directly into the workforce. Choose your friends wisely. My father once told me that if you're the smartest one in your group of friends, you need a new set of friends. Furthermore, there's a need to identify and develop positive relationships with a mentor. That will be crucial no matter what route you choose. Thus the theme, utilizing your resources to reach your goal. You never know who the person you meet could be the one that one day changes your life. When I walked onto the campus of Morgan State, it was the first time, as I said to Dr. Stargell, that I had ever experienced any man of color in a classroom. Dr. Richardson, whom you'll hear speak a little bit later, was the first man of color I witnessed holding such a prestigious role of running a major educational institution as president of the university. There were several other men of color on campus that carried themselves with dignity and professionalism that I was in awe. I made it a point to spend time with several of them during my college years. I'm sure they treated others the same way, but for me, they saw things in me that I didn't even see in myself. I distinctly remember one of my professors, Mr. Wilcox, used to ask me, "What are you going to do when they start calling you Dr. Ron Johnson?" And I used to laugh and say to him, "I'm just trying to pass your class. You're talking about a doctoral degree." But he planted a seed that I didn't know would one day come to fruition. My only regret is that I did not have the opportunity to personally thank him for planting that seed because he passed away a couple months after I received my doctoral degree. But I had the distinct pleasure of having several interactions with Dr. Richardson as well. One particular time, and he may not even remember this, was approximately 25 years ago. I lived in an on-campus apartment on the first floor, and this particular Friday it started raining, and we noticed some water coming into our apartment, and so we called the facilities director, and they said, well, everyone has gone home for the evening and for the weekend, no one can get to you till Monday. And so we said, okay, well, we'll call on Monday. And so later on that evening, about 2 o'clock in the morning, we noticed our apartment was flooded. And so we were out in front of the apartment trying to figure out what we're going to do and, you know, what are we going to do? Our apartment's flooded. We had nowhere to go. So one of my roommates said, well, let's go to Dr. Richardson's house because the president lives on campus. And so they said, well, we're not knocking on his door at 2 o'clock in the morning. But remember, I said my training in Canton prepared me. So I said, look, I'm from Canton. I'll knock on the door. So we got in the car. We drove over to President Richardson's house. And my other 4 roommates stayed in the car. And one of my roommates from Plainfield came to the door with me. And we rang the bell. You remember the story, huh? Yeah. And so we rang the bell, and I hear him upstairs moving around or whatever. He came down, opened the door very graciously and humbly. And I said, Dr. Richardson, I apologize for the intrusion, but I don't know if you know about the situation at the Oregon apartment complex, but our apartments are flooding. He said, oh, no, come on in. So my roommate and I went inside. He sat us down. He made a few phone calls. And he said, well, you gentlemen hungry? He said, well, if you want to feed us, sure. We're college students. So he made us some light breakfast and started talking to us about all the renovations he had planned and the vision he had for Morgan's, $600 million worth of renovations that was going to take place on campus. And again, I'm in my mind saying, they can't even get water out of my apartment. You're talking about $600 million of renovations. But about an hour later, the phone rings, and someone said, obviously you can tell them to come back. And so we went back to our apartment, and everyone from the Dean of Student Affairs, Dean Downs, and everyone else was out there, the facilities manager, and they were all in their robes and pajamas. And I guess Dr. Richardson woke them up, but they would drive back in our apartments, and they didn't leave until it was ready for us to be lived in as it was before we left. So again, Dr. Richardson, I would just like to thank you publicly for one, opening the door and not sending me back home to Camden, but more importantly for your vision and your leadership during your time at Morgan State. You may never have known until now the impact that experience had on my life. And anyone that knows me knows my love for Morgan State. As you heard Jamal speak earlier, Morgan kind of indoctrinates us with a certain love. I'm very fortunate. I had a mother that's here with me in attendance today that attended Morgan class of 63. And so it was very important that for the leader of a university get out of his bed at 2 o'clock in the morning to address the concerns of a couple of students that he had on his campus. That was an amazing act of kindness. In fact, I appreciate that act of kindness so much, and I have so much love for Morgan State that I named my daughter Morgan, who's here with me in attendance today. So as I close, I would just like to discuss the need for humility. I often wonder, why me? So many young men from Camden and people I grew up with, why me? And as they say, but for the grace of God go I. Many of my childhood associates chose a different lifestyle. They didn't have the ability or the want to put in the work and make the sacrifices required to achieve any level of success. Again, I was fortunate early on and throughout my life to have individuals to install in me a solid work ethic. So whatever level of success, young folks, that you are able to obtain, whatever blessing God's allowed you to experience, please be willing to do for others all that has been done for you. When I returned home as a young man with a degree in business administration with no clear direction, it was my second grade teacher, Ms. Braxton, that gave me an opportunity to enter into the field of education, which is why I stand here today. It was Dr. Richardson and his leadership at Morgan that allowed me to currently today lead with a level of humility. So as I try to assist anyone that crosses my path because of the many seeds that have been planted in my life, I would just like to say in closing to you young people today that to those that much is given, much is required. When you leave, please come back, or whatever community you choose to reside in, make sure that you plant the seeds that have been planted in you, because you've been chosen. You are very special young folks, and so with that comes a certain level of responsibility. And so, again, I would just like to say good luck with your futures, and if I can personally be of any assistance to any of you, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, because as I stated in the beginning, most of all, I'm proud to represent CMD. Thank you.
Asking all of you who are members of our church to make sure that you are there because we have a month of Vacation Bible School, and I need you all to help fund it. You know without question that our children do not have the options of summer camp that other children have. We're here today because without question I am unapologetic about making sure we save our young people, that we give our young people a chance. And so I'm not even really gearing that towards children, I'm gearing that to adults. That we have to make sure that we fund not just for our young people, but our church and the very important mission that Kaighn Avenue represents to this city, to this state. We're thankful for our mayor. We're thankful for all of you who have come. We're going to have a baby dedication today, and it's going to be at our prayer time. I'm already excited about hearing Dr. Richardson. I said to him something that I just want to say, as Dr. Maddox will introduce him, is that we are in need of men and women who care about something more than themselves. We are in need of people who will give their lives for young men they will meet who have a doctorate degree 30 years later. We are in need of mothers and fathers who are not necessarily biologically connected to children, but care so much that their life, not even paying attention, will make those children turn around. And so as we're here today and as we prepare to move forward, I want to say with all my heart that we have a newly formed scholarship committee that is run by a very capable woman, Ms. Rochelle Jackson. And let me say something. If our young people, and I'm talking to parents, not children, if our young people want to excel, I don't care where they live, I don't care what their home situation is, this committee is committed to seeing them go as high as possible. But now let me say this as I conclude. They will put no more in than you parents. So we'll see you on June the 22nd at 12 o'clock. We look forward to you coming, and we are already ready to hear this out. They used to sing a song when I was a child, and they used to say, "Let the work I do speak for me." Dr. Richardson, your work is already spoken. I just want to hear it from you.
Good morning, Kaighn Avenue. Is everything all right? A truly blessed morning that we're having, recognizing students that are achieving. I'm going to ask at this time, well, first of all, Dr. Richardson will be coming on in a few minutes. We want to recognize our students right now. We want to give them some recognition for the doctor. And the students that we have here from Woodrow Wilson High School, could you please come up to the front and stand right in the front, center stage. Okay. Now, 3 of the students, I received information on them this week from Woodrow Wilson High School, and I thank Ms. Emma Waring, Vice Principal there, for coordinating the effort there at Woodrow Wilson, and I also thank Ms. Yvette Pruitt. Okay. Now, I hope, and thank you very much. Some of the names are going to give me a challenge. Okay, so I went to night school and I can't read during the day. I'm telling you right now, I have a problem reading during the day. Shalane Beaujour, raise your hand, Shalane. Her parent is Luckner Beaujour, and Shalane has been accepted at Rowan University. Morgan taught me better, but I ain't finished. She was accepted at New Jersey City University. College of St. Elizabeth up in Central Jersey. Burlington and Camden County Colleges. She will be attending school here locally at Rowan University, majoring in biology to become a physician and take care of that next generation. And our next student is Henny Santiago. Henny's parent is Santa Santiago. I said Santiago. You're right. Okay. Her parent is Santa Santana. And please hold applause on this one also. She was accepted at Rowan University, College of St. Elizabeth, Rutgers University, Hawaii Pacific University, Bloomfield College, but she too has opted to go to Rowan University. Again, to major in biology, and her goal is to be either a pediatrician or nutritionist. Now we'll get to the young men. We have Jose Fernandez. Jose's parents are Felix Fernandez and Josefina Brito. Jose was accepted at Rowan University, Harrisburg University, Rider University, Rutgers University, Hawaii Pacific, and he is going to major in biology to become a physician. So I think we might see a practice, a joint practice here in Camden in about 8 or 9 years. Three Woodrow Wilson graduates and a Rowan University graduate. Now, the next young man I'm going to ask to come up here, he was brought to us this morning. So please come up, young man. You're going to have to give the information on you. Introduce yourself and tell us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eli Petro. My parents is Lionel Petro. I was born in Haiti. I've been accepted at Warren University, Camden County, and Baltimore County College. I'll be attending to Warren. I'll be a physical therapy.
Congratulations, man. Wish you the best. A nice round of applause for Woodrow Wilson graduates. After the program is over, all of the graduates will receive a certificate from the church. And the certificate reads, Kaighn Avenue Baptist Church on its the Kaighn Avenue Baptist Church on its Baccalaureate Day, June 9th, 2013, recognizes the student's name, and then a statement. Your academic achievements, school-wide successes, and commitment to community are blessings to the Camden community. As you continue to achieve, continue to look back and give back. You are making a difference. Signed by Dr. Stargell and myself. To close it out properly, we have a quotations, a scripture from Proverbs, and it's Proverbs 3:21. It reads, my child, don't lose sight of common sense and discernment. Hang on to them. Thank you. Now moving on, did any of the students from Brim arrive today? Any of the Brim students? Okay, well, I'm going to just name the 3 Brim students that we have information on. Erin Carson, she wants to be a pharmacist, and she's attending Rutgers Camden. Terlicia Bowman. Her career aspiration is to be a nurse, and she is attending Georgia Court College. The third is Akia Allen. Career aspiration is veterinarian, and she will be attending Bloomfield College. And we thank Ms. Goodwater Lewis for the information. Now it's time for the host of this activity and the center of attraction, sort of, kind of, from our own Kaighn Avenue. And those students, I would ask for you to come up also. I'm going to call your name and read your information as you come up. Jantaran? Chataran? Oh, don't act shy now. Jataran is the child of Joanne Williams and Deron Warden. She is a creative arts Morgan Village Academy student. She was accepted at Bennett College for Women. And then the correct college, Benedict College, North Carolina. She's accepted at Eastern University and Camden County College. Her preference is to go to Camden County Community College initially and transfer to Bennett College for Women. Her goal in life is to become a nurse. A couple of activities that she is in, and I'm only identifying 3. She's in the Mighty Marching Band, the Mighty Marching Panthers from Camden High. She's in the Kaighn Avenue Church Youth Chorale, and she is also a praise dancer here in the church. Katarian. Now you can stay up here. One would never suspect that this quiet child here is the same one. You know what I'm talking about, Rev, right? Okay, I won't go any further. Kiara Howell. Kiara's parents are Mr. Lewis and Mrs. Shara Howell. She, too, creative arts. Accepted at Eastern University, Benedict College, Camden County College. Her college preference is Camden County College, and she plans to be a nurse. Her anticipated course of study is nursing, but she wants to be something that you don't see that often, a certified nurse midwife. She'll have to have the patience of Job. She's a member of the Camden High Marching Band, and she has volunteered at the Cooper River Breast Cancer Walk. Congratulations, Kiara. Mariah Alexis Owens. Mariah is the daughter of Mr. Maurice and Dr. Marilyn Gordon. That's it. Gordon Owens. Gordon Owens, and we know that Granddad is one of the deacons here, and Grandmom is a very active member in the church. High school, Cherry Hill West. College acceptances. Oh, it says Princeton University, Rider College. Her preference is Rider. Anticipated course of study is business administration. Career aspiration is business administration and event planning. Congratulations, Mariah. Do we have Danielle Cox here? Okay. Matthew Douglas Blackwell Hurd. Again, I'm having reading difficulty. Parents, Reverend Hurd and Mrs. Tamara Hurd. Ewing High School graduate, accepted at Rider University, Long Island University, Howard University, St. Francis College, and I'm getting tired, and Malloy College. His preference, he has signed on and committed to St. Francis College in Brooklyn, New York. Anticipated course of study is computer science. Career aspiration is software and game systems creation. Sounds like an entrepreneur to me. A couple of achievements. He's graduating with a 3.0. And he has volunteered at a nonprofit in the Ewing Trenton area called Homefront. He has given them 350 volunteer hours. And he also has prepared meals for the Catholic services of Ewing. Congratulations, Matt Hurd. This is eeny, meeny, miny, mo. John Henderson. And Jacob, you can be on standby. Parents, Mrs. Bobby Jean Henderson and Mr. Albert Henderson. He He is a graduate of Pennsauken High School, accepted at Rider University, Nassau State College, Coppin State, go HBCU, Lincoln University, go HBCU again. His college of preference is Nassau State College. That's where he'll be attending. Nassau, that's in New York, correct? Okay. His anticipated course of study is psychology. He wants to be a psychologist. Okay. He is ranked 23 out of 400 in his class. A couple of achievements. He has been on the honor roll all 4 years. He's a member of the National Honor Society, and he's #2 wrestler in South Jersey. John Henderson. Jacob, his brother, twin brother, is at a wrestling match today, and unfortunately couldn't be here. I'm going to just tell you about the colleges of acceptance. Fairleigh Dickinson University, Penn State University, University of Delaware, Coppin State, and Rutgers. Now, I went by the house this week, Thursday of last week, to get some information from the twins. Jacob was at home. He came downstairs, and I gave him certain questions, parents' names, high school. And I came to college acceptances. And so he gave me 5 or 6. And I said, okay. And I said, we'll move to where you're going to go. He said, well, do you want the rest of the colleges? And I had my pen in my hand. And I said, okay, how many did you have? He said, 36. I said, you write it yourself. But he will be attending Fairleigh Dickinson University. To become an accountant. Now, he is, he should be going down to East Coast Spring Lane, Dr. Richardson. He's number 21 out of 400, graduating with a 4.1. A 4.1. I think that is it. Congratulations to one and all, to all of our graduating seniors. Good luck. You may return to your seats. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Mr. Okay. Are you looking for this? What did you have? Is this it? You all right now? Okay. Thank you.
The leadership will come.
Please stand for our today's sentence found on the screens.
For the lengthiness, even though we want to exhibit our young people today, says as a frame of reference, they had people for American Idol in Philadelphia. They told me they stood there all day chasing a pipe dream. And so today, if we can, we want to first of all thank God for our master of ceremony, Mr. Cameron. And so I want to rearrange it because I really want you to hear our outstanding speaker today. I'm going to say preacher today, this prophet who will speak to us. Rochelle Rand is going to come. Dr. Maddox is going to come. Then we're going to make the media presentation our postlude so that we can save our attention for Dr. Richardson. And I want to dare say that I trust that Dr. Richardson will say more than the championship game. That we really have to do what Dr. King said. We are in need of a radical revolution. That if we do not prepare for our children to do extremely well educationally, they will die.
Good morning, church. Today our scripture, please stand, I'm sorry. Today our scripture lesson will be found in the book of Numbers, the book of Numbers, chapter 27, verses 15 through 23. Again, Numbers, chapter 27, verses 15 through 23. Moses said to the Lord, "The Lord is God of the spirits of all people. May he choose a leader for these people who will go in and out before them. He must lead them out like sheep and bring them in. The Lord's people must not be like sheep without a shepherd." So the Lord said to Moses, "Take Joshua, the son of Nun, because my spirit is in him. Put your hand on him and have him stand before Eleazar, the priest, and all the people. Then give him his orders as they watch. Let them share your honor so that all the Israelites will obey him. He must stand before Eleazar, the priest, and Eleazar will get advice from the Lord by using the urn. At his command, all the Israelites will go out, and at his command, they will all come in." And Moses did what the Lord told him. He took Joshua and had him stand before Eleazar, the priest, and all the people. And he put his hands on him and gave him orders, just as the Lord had told him. That's the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God.
I have to address an omission. I would like for Zaire Martin to please come to the front. Zaire Martin. And I apologize, Zaire. Oh, all right, my man. My main man. Zaire is here from Med East High School. Zaire is going to be attending that college down in Atlanta, that college of Benjamin E. Mays. He's going to Morehouse. Now, to help Zaire on his way, the United Negro College Fund is giving him $6,500. We're working it out. The Spirit of a Hero Scholarship for $5,000. A Morehouse Scholarship itself for $9,000. And Aramark Scholarship for $1,000. excuse me. Zaire is going to major in English and journalism. And so I said, so you want to be a writer? He said, no, a journalist. You know, there is a difference. Nice round of applause for the... And Zaire, did I say your first name correctly? Okay, thank you. All right. Is anyone else in here I missed? All right. We're on a good road. It's a pleasure to stand here before you. I thank Dr. Stargill for the opportunity to chair the committee. Thank you very much, Dr. Stargill.
Thank you for doing an outstanding job.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. It's a true pleasure to introduce Dr. Earl Stanton Richardson to you. I met Dr. Richardson right after he started Morgan. He started Morgan in 1984, and he remained the president for 25 years. Now, can you imagine working with our folk for 25 years? And also working in the South with the other folk, representing our folk for 25 years. That's saying a little bit. Just to give you a little bit about his background, things that I remember. When he came to Morgan from the University of Maryland, and I think he was the provost. Oh, I'm sorry, he was special assistant to the provost at the University of Maryland. And at that time, the Maryland legislature was trying to bring all of the black schools, historically black colleges. You have Morgan, Maryland State, Coppin, and Bowie. The legislature was trying to bring them into the Maryland system, which would have meant in the long run we would have been losing out. Okay? So when he came to Morgan, many of the staff members were looking. He's coming from the University of Maryland. He's probably working for the man and going to do some things that are going to be injurious to our institution. So he starts there, and he looks around. He is a visionary, truly a visionary. He's a thinker. And he looked around at Morgan. He looked at the offerings at Morgan. And he looked at 21st century, which was right around the corner. And he said, there's some things that just aren't looking right. We need to reevaluate. And he saw that there was a top-heavy load of staff members, teachers, in areas that were not going to be needed in the 21st century. So I think the word was retrenchment. What was that word? That was correct? That's a bad word, yeah. Bottom line, it meant we got to make some changes, and all of you folks that in comfortable, cushy jobs, it's time for retirement. Because we need to be looking at journalism, telecommunications, architecture, and I'm saying these with reason because all of these programs started under his leadership. Engineering, and Morgan graduates more black engineers than any school in the state of Maryland to this day. He has all types of new programs going on in the school now. There were 21st century programs. So the staff revolted, which you can understand, and they tried to get his job. Well, he survived that. And roughly 5 to 7 years after that survival situation, that same staff in the state of Maryland gave him a dinner in recognizing his contributions to Morgan State University and the state of Maryland. Same person, but they looked at what he had done for Morgan and the state of Maryland. When Dr. Richardson started Morgan had a budget of roughly $30,000. When he left 3 years ago, the annual budget was roughly $188 million. Okay? Program offerings at Morgan when he started, I think it was 67, 68. When he left, there were 97 program offerings there. When he started at Morgan, there were roughly 4,200 students there. When he left, there were about 7,800 students. This is a man with a vision for the school. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He knows and understands and appreciates the correlation, the connection between sociology, politics, and economics. And there is a close relationship there. And he worked that relationship during his tenure years. And I think the highest compliment that can be given to anyone is to have something named after you. On Morgan's campus now, while he can still smell the roses, it is the Earl Stanton Richardson Library, $55 million library, named in his honor. Hear ye, Dr. Earl Stanton Richardson.
I guess it is good afternoon now. To the pastor here, Reverend Stargell, and members of the Kaighn Avenue Baptist Church, the parents and the newly minted high school graduates, good morning. When I came in last evening, Dr. Stargell said that this is going to be a little unusual. It's going to be unusually long. And so I took that as my clue to try to narrow down what I had to say. But I have to tell you that I've been so inspired by the program this morning. I've been so inspired by the young people's participation in the program. It gives us hope.
Yes.
I must tell you, too, that I did not know that Mr. Jamal Dickerson was going to be here. I did not know that Dr. Johnson was going to be here. First of all, I didn't know he was now Dr. Johnson. But Dr. Johnson, I do remember. I do remember that early morning when you and your classmate, your roommate, came to my house and sat in the vestibule there in 2 burgundy chairs. And we had a conversation. And you know, over a lifetime, Dr. Maddox said that the greatest honor that can be paid to one is to have a building named for him. No, 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 no. The greatest honor is to see Jamal Dickerson, to see the Dr. Johnson, and to hear them tell their story. You know, when you're doing these things, you don't know how it's going to come out. You said, I just hope I'm doing some good. I hope I'm making a difference. But there's nothing like a witness. There's nothing like hearing it from the horse's mouth. And so I'm already blessed for being here. I'm already overjoyed for being here, and I thank you for inviting me, for sharing in this great celebration. And I'm sure that all of the parents and guardians here will agree that this is indeed a day that the Lord has sent, and that we should rejoice and be glad in it. A special greetings to Dr. Maddox. Yes, a very loyal and devoted member of the Morgan State Alumni Association. Persons on whom I had depend. You know, you hear all the great things that the president did and all the great things that have happened to Morgan, but people have to understand you don't do them by yourself. You do them with the help, with the support, with the continued encouragement of people like your Alumni Association, and specifically people like Will Maddox. And so I'm grateful for you, Dr. Maddox. He told me that he wanted me to be here, and I guess about every week or so he called me or sent me an email to remind me. He even suggested at one time, now, if you can't get here, I'll come down to pick you up. But you know, there are some things that you don't need a whole lot of coaching to do. You must do them. You know you must do them. And anytime there is an opportunity to celebrate the successes of our young people, indeed, that's the time that you must go, you must do. And so I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to Dr. Stargell for continuing to have the baccalaureate service. Because again, much of our education started in the church. And it is in the church that we oftentimes find our refuge as we're going through the education process. And I know the parents here will understand when I say you have to be grateful. So first I want to give a shout out to the parents and the guardians and the relatives who do so dutifully and so diligently shepherded these young people through this maze of life and experience. I know it must not have been easy, not near as easy as the most difficult times of your parents. With all the governmental and community indifference, the associated drugs, crime, and other temptations, these are indeed times which try men's soul. I know that there are many nights you laid awake praying for God's help in keeping your young one on the right path. Many days you thought you had lost the fight, but today, you're still here, and so is that graduating son or daughter. So it is no wonder that many of you are saying today, it matters not whether my son or my daughter graduated summa cum laude, the Latin for highest honors, or magna cum laude, the Latin for high honors, or even cum laude, simply with honors. I know you're content to say, I'm just so glad that they graduated. Thank you, Lordy. But isn't that just like our parents? Those who love us so, they never give up on us no matter what. They are in this respect godlike. And as the songster so beautifully said, they look beyond our faults and they see our needs. So congratulations, parents, again, for a job well done. But those parents, those young people, the ones you thought were always so strong, they too had to be reassured now and then. And they turned to the pastor, Dr. Stargell, and the church. And so, to you, the pastor, and to the members of Kaighn Avenue, much oblige, as the people in the country would say, much oblige. Continue to play the role that you play in the life of the parent. Continue to play the role that you play in the life of our young people. But to the high school graduates, the one who have thus far kept the faith and finished the academic course, the ones who were tenacious, determined, and persevering, to the one who had the willpower not to give up when it even appeared that things were going wrong, congratulations. And Dr. Stargell allowed me to say to them just this one time, you done good. Of course, you know, the phrase is grammatically incorrect, but I use it for emphasis. But know that we're so proud of you. As we listen to the graduation rates, the overwhelming numbers of young people who get diverted and distracted, the overwhelming numbers of young people who drop out, we commend you again and even praise you for taking the road less traveled, for it has obviously made all the difference. And I wished I could say congratulations and leave it there, but I cannot. I must hasten to say this is your first step up the ladder of life success. The challenge is to reach higher, to go farther. When I was growing up, people with a high school diploma could do reasonably well in getting a job and providing for a decent living for their families. But that day is long past. Today you must have a minimum of a college degree. And depending upon the field in which you're in, you may need a master's degree. Particularly in a job market like we have today. And even when the job market is good, the more preparation you have, the more marketable you are. And the more money you will earn. I know money is not everything, but it is something. If you were to stop here at the high school level, you can expect to earn approximately $26,000 a year. That goes to about the mid-40s or 50,000 with a bachelor's degree. And then with a master's degree to about 60 to 75,000. So the challenge is to take the next step, enroll in college, go as far as you can. And I have already seen that many of you have already made that decision. And so I can't say enough. Congratulations again. My only regret is that I didn't have all of you going to historically black colleges. Our black colleges are a national treasure. They are still among that few number of institutions that will take you where you are and carry you where you ought to be. And even when you complain, we're still there. We're still there to pick you up. But whatever college or university you choose, go knowing that you're as good as the best. And that you can and will succeed no matter what. Don't worry about where you came from. Focus on where you're going. Don't waste time apologizing for the things you should have done. Just think of the things you're going to do. Don't go expecting anyone to give you anything, or to take pity on you, or to make excuses for you. Don't go looking for a party, because shucking and jiving will get you nothing but the next train home. Listen. We have a bridge at Morgan that Dr. Maddox knows well. It's called the Welcome Bridge. And as president, I would oftentimes say to them, that's not the welcome you think. The welcome on the name was for a graduate of Morgan whose name was Verda Welcome. She came to be the first black senator in the state of Maryland, and so that bridge was named for her. But students would gather around the bridge when they should be in class. And I would say to them, I would admonish them, be careful with the bridge. That bridge can take you to class, but it can also take you home. If you don't do the right thing, before you know it, you'll be going across the bridge on your way home. And you don't have to be the smartest thing to succeed. You only have to be determined. I don't know, Pastor, if I have this right or not, but I believe the scripture says the race is not always to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but he who endureth to the end. To those who may be thinking that that's easy for him to say, he was a college president, he does know how hard it is. Well, let me tell you my story. Not for any praise and not for any admiration, but for the example it can be for you. It's a story of humility, determination, graciousness, and thankfulness, and one that will always sustain me. I wasn't always Dr. Richardson. I wasn't always the president of Morgan State University. I was instead a little black boy, born of wise but uneducated parents in Maryland's poorest county on its eastern shore. The place was such that it was too small to be called a town, too large to call a village, so they simply referred to it as the settlement between Princess Anne on the north and Pocomoke on the south. I attended the public schools there. Nothing special, but good teachers. Teachers who told me that that not only must I learn, but I must also be a good person, be a good Christian, and follow what they had to say. When I left the institution, the high school, just as you have done, I had no idea where I would go. But my father was a tenant farmer. My mother, housewife. And as I graduated in May, didn't know where I was going. And for the summer, worked in a local diner there washing dishes. Come September, when the school bus rolled by my house, I finally realized that I was out of school and didn't know where I was going. Isn't that the way many of our young people are today? Mm-hmm. And my father said to me, what are you going to do? You know, I said, my father was uneducated, 2 weeks in school, 2 weeks, only 2 weeks, not second grade, not first grade, 2 weeks. He said to me, what are you going to do? And I said to him, I don't know. And when I said I didn't know, he looked at me and he said, well, we can get another tractor and you can begin on that piece of land, the 40 acres that we're doing over on the north side. Well, having grown up on the farm and having worked from sun up to sundown, I said, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. And so at the first opportunity, I went to my mother. You know how sons do. They go to their mother, just like daughters go to their father. I went to my mother and I said, I must go to college. I must go to school. And my mother looked at me partly with joy and excitement, but also with wonder. The wonder was, where will we get the money? Where would we get the money? This is a good story. She told my father, I guess that night. I don't know when she told him, but I do know the next day my father took me to the local congressman, the local state senator. And he said, Senator Phoebus, a Republican, doctor. A Republican, you know, we sometimes write off people too quickly. Yes. But a Republican, and he said to him, Mr. Phoebus, my son wants to go to college. And Mr. Phoebus said, to college? Hasn't school already begun? My father said, I have no idea. He wants to go to college. Mr. Phoebus then picked up the telephone and called the president of the university, Dr. John Taylor Williams. And he said, I have a young man here who wants to go to school. And presidents then were tyrants. Presidents then were somebody. And Dr. Williams said to the senator, he doesn't want to go to school because had he wanted to go to school, he'd been here 2 weeks ago. What kind of place do you think we run over here? Well, the senator said to him, well, Dr. Williams, are you coming to Annapolis for your budget next week? True story. And Dr. Williams said, send the boy over. Send the boy over. I went over to the university, and I went into the president's office. Thankfully, the only time I ever went to the president's office. I went to the president's office. Dr. Williams was about 6'8". He came in and he looked down on me. He turned around and went back into his office. That was to let me know, if you don't make a go of this one, you're going to be sorry. The secretary took me over, and from that point on, turned me loose on the campus. And the faculty there, I don't know what it was, I can't tell you. They saw something in me. And they began to work with me. Well, long story short, suddenly I found myself in places I never thought. I was in the ROTC. I don't know how I got there. They put me there. They had me in leadership positions. They had me going here and there. But what I knew is that I could not betray the trust of those who had gotten me where I was. And every single day, I said, I'm going to do the very best that I can. I may not be the smartest person in the room, but I'm going to be the last person in the room. You're going to find me trying, even if I fall a little short. Thankfully, I didn't fall short. I was able to graduate and then went into the military. But the story doesn't stop there. This is what it means when you go with the right attitude. This is what it means when you go in earnest. This is what it means when you have the strength to persevere. when I came out of the military, I went back to work at the university that gave me my start. And I was up at the University of Pennsylvania with some of those students, trying to get them into the master's program there. And one of the admissions officers said there, the dean is looking for some young people to go into higher education administration. What about you? Never planned it. Never thought I'd be there. We want you to come into the doctoral program. And at that time, Penn, the cost for going there was $35,000 a year. He said, we're going to pick up the entire tab. And I had been in the military through ROTC. And so I also got a little money on the side. So I was grateful. I was grateful. Went to get the doctorate degree, and as soon as I came out, was offered a position at the University of Maryland as assistant to the president. I planned none of this. There was a divine hand at work. There were people there who were looking out for me when I wasn't looking out for myself. Now, I tell you my story, not for aggrandizement, not for any praise for myself, but to say to you that this is the story of so many black men, so many black people. That's right. That's right. And it can be your story too. As you leave here to begin that story, let me advise you. Be good. Be an example others can emulate. Continue to trust in God, knowing that if you first seek Him, all things will be added unto you. And don't just be good, do good. Do good to the friend still struggling in the high school. Encourage him or her to do as you've done. And be bold and courageous, having no fear for what is to come. And finally, do as the poem writer might have suggested in saying, make a promise to yourself. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk happiness, health, and prosperity to every person you meet. To look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. To think only of the best, to work only for the best, and expect only the best. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living person you meet a smile. To give so much time to improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. To be too large to worry, too noble for anger, and too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. I will say to you, that is a formula for success. And young people, you have everything to succeed, and we will expect nothing of you. God bless you, and thanks again for inviting me.